Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Christina C. Jones and I am a Black romance author whose work focuses on Black folks, just to put it very simply. I have a pretty large catalog, and so what I like to do sometimes is the series where I explore my backlist and I just talk about the things that were in my head at the time of writing those particular stories. The last backlist video that I did was Love on the Highlight Reel, which is my first book in the Connecticut Kings series. It's book 2 in the series, but it's the first one that I wrote because that series is actually a collaboration. I was trying to think of the word. That series is actually a collaboration with my good friend Love Belvin, who is another amazing Black romance author. If you are looking for someone that you need to check out, find yourself inside of her catalog. But in any case, today I am going to talk about my next book in that series, which was actually the third book in the series. I'm trying to remember. Yes, I think I got it right when I was talking about it last time. But book 3 in that series is Determining Possession. And look, oh, Ramsey and Will. So not a lot of people know this, but Determining Possession was actually supposed to be an enemies to lovers story. What was supposed to happen, at risk of, I guess it's not too spoiler if I tell you what was supposed to happen, with the understanding that this did not happen. Ramsey and Will were co-workers. They were sports news anchors together. And he was just like a jerk. And she didn't hate him, but she also didn't, like, she wasn't thinking about him, you know, like that. And she could hang with whatever little banter or whatever. She could hang right there with him. Wasn't any type of problem. So what was supposed to happen was her finding out right before a newscast that her professional actor fiance was cheating on her. And then she gets to the newscast and he says something, her coworker, which would have been Ramsey, says something slick about it on air. And so they end up, you know, getting into it, going at it or whatever, with her saying some ugly things about him saying some ugly things about her, and so on and so forth. And the more I kind of got to the point of needing to write that, it was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. So, as often happens to me, I had to rethink it. I had to reconsider and figure out, okay, how are we going to approach this? Because I don't know, man, it ain't working out. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it some more, and then I finally was able to figure out that I was going to just have to change my approach. And so instead of them being enemies to lovers, it was like, okay, so what if all of this happens with the fiance and all of that? What if all of that happens, but they're actually good friends instead? And the more I thought about it, the more it worked. So I actually do not like writing friends to lovers. And I say that, but honestly, any trope I claim not to like writing, take it with a grain of salt. But no, friends to lovers to me it's just really hard to deliver on, because my thing is, if y'all were so compatible, so meant to be together, outside of the existence of, you know, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, why were y'all not already together? Like, especially if they're like really long time friends. And I'm not even going to get into all of that. But long story short, friends to lovers is like not my favorite trope to write. And so once that was what clicked, at first I was like, oh man, really? I don't want to do this. But again, for Will and Ramsey's story, it just worked. So part of the thing with these two is that, and this is actually something that I'm exploring in the current Connecticut Kings project, and the one that I'm writing, Offensive Formations, which is going to be book 8 in the series. Will is a former track star, and she comes from parents who were also elite athletes. Ramsey does not necessarily have that background, but he is going through kind of a, I want to say reinvention process, but that's not exactly what I mean. Ramsey has retired. Ramsey has actually retired from professional football, and that's how he lands at the news desk with Wilhelmina Cunningham. And she's retired from track. She was an Olympic track star. She's a runner. She's a track star. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I completely forgot what I was talking about. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So we have this former player who has left professional football because of some personal tragedy that happens in his life. And we have this former track star and they're friends, and she's going through this stuff in her personal life, and he's going through some things in his personal life and his professional life, and they just have all these different things going on. And what I love about them, and this is actually a point that I don't think I ever finished earlier when I was talking about what I don't like about friends to lovers. Often when it comes to friends to lovers, like just in things that I've read, and honestly things that I've written, I'm not I'm not immune to this either, but it's like one of them is friends and the other is like, I want you, you know. And so I'm like, y'all are not friends. Y'all are a friend and then somebody who's like waiting on the sidelines for the right moment. But with Will and Ramsey, they truly are friends. And I think part of the reason that they're able to actually be friends is because she has been engaged. He had his relationships and stuff like that going on. And so they weren't actually available to each other. And I think that helped them kind of remain a little more neutral than they may have otherwise. But they really, truly are friends until we already know what happens. One fateful night, everything changes. And now, he's shown her how her pussy works. And now, of course, they can't be just friends anymore. But in any case, not necessarily about the book itself, but just in terms of continuing series and the pressure that comes with that. The first 2 books in the Connecticut Kings series were incredibly well received. And of course you want that, right? Like you don't want the book to flop. But with that success of the first book in a project, there comes there comes a ton of pressure to deliver, I guess, a similar experience with whatever comes next. It's like on one hand you have readers who love the first book so much that they don't really care about new characters, and maybe they're not even really open to new characters, or they're not open to a different vibe from the characters, and what they really want is to be able to read book 1 again for the first time all over. But you can't do that, right? Like obviously you can't do that. You can't go back and take that first book out of their memory. You have to just write the next one and hope that it hits hard. And luckily we were able to deliver that. We were able to deliver second books and even third books in the series that people really, really loved. Well, I say second and third books. What I mean is second and third seasons. And my third season book we'll talk about in the next backlist video because I have some thoughts about that. But we'll come back to it. Anyway, I have heard from so many people that Will and Ramsey are like their favorite of my couples from the Connecticut Kings series, because there's 3 different ones. I don't know why I did. This is literally 8, and I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. But there are 3 different. Oh, I know why I did that, because I was like emphasizing like jazz hands, but I was showing the number here. Y'all don't care about that. What was I talking about? Sorry. So what I was saying is that there are a lot of people who have told me that Will and Ramsey are their favorite of my couples from the Connecticut Kings series, and I consider that very high praise, because I love Will and Ramsey too. Their story is so, I don't even know that I feel like their story is up and down, because what I do often with my couples is once they're together, they're together. Like, I don't do a lot of, well, we're together, but we should break up. We're together. Like, sometimes that happens, but it's not like in every one of my stories. Like, I don't always do that. But what will happen is external factors, and like those external pressures, and I'm thinking about some of the stuff that happens in that book, and it's like the couple gets together and we get to see how they handle that pressure, and that's what I really like about Will and Ramsey in Determining Possession. All right, so that is all. I like to try to keep these videos pretty light and honestly pretty short, because if I start going into detail, oh my God, we will be here a long time. And I ain't trying to do that to y'all. I'm supposed to be keeping it cute, keeping it quick. So I'm gonna let it be that. I'm gonna let it be that. I'm not gonna think of anything else to talk about. I'm going to end this video here, and with a little reminder that the next books in the series are going to be coming out this spring. I did think of something else to talk about. I'm sorry. I was trying to remember if Will and Ramsey make any real appearances here in the one that I'm working on now. And so far, there's been mentions, but no appearances. But I still got some. I still got some words to write. So it ain't too late. It ain't too late at all. Anyway, I am going to end it here. As always, thanks for watching. If you like my channel, like my videos, please do me a favor and hit that little subscribe button. And what you can also do is hit the notification bell, so that when I do post new videos, you already know what's up. It's going to let you know. But anyway, to the point, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.